Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm excited to explore how site reliability engineering practices can power high performance payment systems in emerging markets. Now, with the limited banking infrastructure, widespread mobile use, these digital payments play a crucial role in bringing financial services to underserved communities. Let me move on to the next slide. Let's begin with an overview of the technical architecture that supports financial inclusion in these regions. I'll walk you through how various components like APIs, analytics, and hybrid cloud edge setups come together to build a resilient payment ecosystem. Now, the objective is to deliver a reliable, low latency transactions, even in areas with intermittent connectivity. Moving on to the next slide. Emerging markets present a unique challenge: power outage, limited internet speeds, and regulatory complexities. Now, for overcoming all these barriers, we need a fault tolerant design, offline capabilities, and adaptable compliance frameworks to navigate these obstacles. Now, think of rural areas where the 2G or 3G networks dominate and power might be out for hours. Our systems must still function. Now, that's where we're talking about reliability. Reliability metrics that really matter. The reliability metrics become essential in measuring how well we perform under these harsh conditions. Now, cloud edge models often show near perfect reliability, but then processing locally and synchronizing once connectivity is restored. That kind of an approach is very good for in these kind of situations. These further, these approaches help maintain 97% or higher transaction success rates, which already impacts trust and user adoption in underserved areas. Moving on, let's look at specific SRE practices that have driven significant improvements in reliability. All of these concepts are very important for the reliability, like we were talking about in the previous slides, where there are several other infrastructure situations that we'll have to take care of. Now, advanced observability, distributing tracing across all the services and helping pinpoint issues in complex heterogeneous environments. Those things is very important in this aspect. And again, automated remediation and chaos engineering prepare our systems to self-heal and recover from regional failures. That is very important in the situation where we're talking about power infrastructure not being available for multiple hours. Now, coupled with precision SLOs, these strategies have cut payment failures by over 60%. We move on to the next slide. So, to implement these SRE strategies effectively, we follow a phased roadmap. First, we establish a baseline metrics and simple monitoring. Then we introduce distributed tracing and chaos testing. Finally, we move to AI driven predictive analytics. Now, this approach provides incremental wins while steadily advancing towards a robust, mature reliability. Now, cultural change is equally important. Reliability champions must be embedded in dev teams. So that is equally as important as the other aspects of this. Moving on, SRE in emerging markets also calls for a context adjusted SLIs and SLOs. So for instance, a 99.95% success rate might be adjusted to 97% in rural zones where connectivity is beyond our control. Now, ensuring fairness and realistic targets just to make sure you have a fair ground to play. Now, tailoring these service level objectives to real world conditions, we keep teams motivated and still accountable for what they can influence. Moving on. AI powered capabilities amplify our resilience, shifting from reactive to predictive reliability. Machine learning flags unusual transaction patterns, readouts data around poor networks, and blocks suspicious activity in real time. With AI, up to 87% of the potential incidents are caught before they affect users. And that's a very huge jump from threshold based systems. Now let's examine a real world case wherein we're going to talk about a rural healthcare payments platform. This was one of the very important and widely recognized implementation real world case that was discussed in several areas. Serving millions of patients under 2G connectivity and frequent power outages, they applied offline first architecture, and regional SLOs. The result, transaction reliability soared from 78% to over 99%, which is almost 100%. And patient satisfaction jumped significantly, which is crucial in this aspect. So, for a technical deep dive, service mesh architectures have shown tremendous values in these payment environments. Now, by abstracting networking, security, observability, a mesh empowers apps to focus on business logic, even in a hybrid or legacy system. Now, in several cases, incident resolutions has become 83% faster and security incidents dropped by 76% once policies were uniformly enforced across all services. Now, that uniformity accounts for making sure that your systems are robust, they're performance oriented, and you have a very highly secure system. Moving on, I just want to quickly wrap up with some key takeaways for tech leaders aiming to bring financial services to emerging markets. First, adapt SRE best practices to local realities. Use region specific SLOs and offline capabilities, like we were talking about, how to make sure we have a fair playground for every one of us. Secondly, design for resilience, incorporate edge computing, caching, and robust synchronization. Third, remain user centered. Reliability must directly enhance financial inclusion. Lastly, adopt a phased approach to implementation. And these will make sure we have a great implementation in place. So, finally, thank you. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate your time, and I hope these strategies for context aware SRE help you build reliable, inclusive, and payment systems. If you have any questions or would like additional details, please let me know, and we'd love to discuss how we can collaborate to advance financial inclusion in challenging environments. Thank you very much.